Glassenberg from Craft Industry Alliance. Hope you're having a great day today. It's Wednesday, so of course it's time for our member spotlight, where we sort of drop in on one of our amazing Craft Industry Alliance members and have an opportunity to learn more about their business journey, see a little bit of their studio maybe some samples, understand what they're working on right now. It's always a very good time, and we do them every Wednesday. You can look back in our sort of archives of these to learn more about lots and lots of our members. I think I've been doing this now for over a year, so that's kind of cool. Today we're going to be talking to someone who lives very far away from me. Her name is Brenda Wood, and she's a fiber and textile artist, and she's going to be hopefully joining us soon. I believe she lives in Australia, so hopefully we got the time zones correct, which is always hard to do. So anyway, I think I see her here. So Brenda, feel free to hit the plus sign icon at the bottom of your screen, and that should send a request for you to join live, and we'll get to learn a little bit more about your business. And I just wanted to briefly highlight before Brenda joins us that we have an incredible webinar coming up. And it's going to be all about color trends for 2023. That's on December 15th at 1 p.m. Eastern. And if you will get to join, it's going to be recorded as well. I'm really looking forward to it. And we have a color trends expert named Keith joining us for that. There you are. Hi, Brenda. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Thank you. Yeah.
Perfect. Super. So Brenda, we are very far apart from one another, I think, on this globe. So I am in Boston, Massachusetts, in the US. Where are you?
I'm in Brisbane, Australia. So the sun hasn't quite come up yet. I can see it sneaking over the horizon, but yeah, no natural light here for me.
That's awesome. How cool is it, right? That like Instagram can connect us live between Massachusetts and Brisbane. This is like the coolest thing. So I'm very excited to have you. And I would love it if you could tell us, I know your business is all about fiber and textiles, but it's kind of evolved over the last many years. And so I would love if you can kind of trace that journey for us.
Oh, absolutely. And, always evolving, always changing, but then so is the art textile world. So back in 2014, I started Sew Textiles, and it was a little Etsy shop, as you all do, is how you all start off. And I met some fabulous quilt pattern designers, and they didn't have any online presence. Some of them, one of them was 80. So, and they had the most fabulous quilt patterns and that sort of thing. So I said, well, if you want them to go onto the internet, I can put them on there for you. So I was bringing these fabulous quilt patterns that no one else had, because these beautiful women who have so much talent and tour and teach and all sorts of things, aren't interested in the media side of things. So I have these unusual quilt patterns, which is just delightful. And at the same time, I'm a textile artist. So then Sew Textiles has developed into me sharing and creating sharing communities, which is what I love to do. And so I started Textile Art Collective many moons ago, which was a Facebook group, and that's got we're up to nearly 60,000 members at the moment. 60, and it's a fabulous group.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's great, and it's really good because we all talk about safe spaces, but this is one that is about you and your art, and it doesn't matter whether you're 5 or 50 or whatever, and it doesn't matter whether your work is high quality, exhibition quality, or it's something you stitch for the first time. So it's a really good community.
So
and
tell us the name
obviously,
of that group one more time, just in case. Tell us the name of that group one more time, just in case people want to join.
That's called Textile Art Collective.
Okay.
And it is a real mix of things. Like we get people who make their own hats, people who make felt toys, it is a real mix. Other groups at the time when they were creating it seemed to want to limit everybody to just do just art quilts and just high quality, or just this and just that. So Textile Art Collective is a real collective of anybody who creates textile. And in fact, one of the people we have in there is this beautiful painter who paints textiles, and he's just amazing. And he said that he couldn't really find a fit, and then his art is in this group too.
Wonderful.
So because I like to create these sharing communities, and my children, you know, finally left school, so, you know, no more 5 a.m. trips to the soccer field and for training and that sort of thing, I developed what was called Workshop in a Box. And Workshop in a Box was a series. We've just had the last one. This was the project. Actually, there were two projects. And what textile art is great for is that it uses a lot of art supplies as well. It's not just fabric collage. It could be painting, it could be plastic, it could be all sorts of things. So every month we would get a new tutor, and that tutor would be from the UK or the US or all around Australia, and they would teach us a technique, and I would provide a box of just the main ingredients you needed. And it was great because if we provided you with something like Shiva sticks and you went, oh, I don't like those, doesn't matter, you had such a small outlay that you didn't have, you know, hundreds of dollars worth of stuff that you won't use again. So that has been a really, really good series. As I said, we're just finishing our last one for 2022, and next year we're going to morph and change that up a little bit more as well. So,
can you give us a preview?
It was still finessing the details, but it will be more of a stash builder box next time, and so it will give you products that aren't samples. It will give you fabric. It will give you Posca pens, which I just love. It will give you a thread. Yeah, that's right. And a Fabrico pen. And then each month I will teach a new technique. And whether or not you use it or not, but I am going to challenge everybody to use it in a small work of art, whether it's a 6-inch by 6-inch challenge, and that will be color coded to the box. So if we do, you know, a red box, you will be challenged to do a small art piece mainly in red, and if you choose to use the new technique I've shown you, and that could be something like painted flies effects, or jelly plate printing, or you know, fabric blooming, or something like that.
So cool. And I think as artists and makers, we do best when we have boundaries, or sort of an assignment where, in other words, we have confines that are restricting in some way what it is we can produce, and then we have to work within that, whether that's a particular color, a particular size, a particular set of materials, even a particular deadline, a thematic, like those sorts of things. Something about, I feel like the human brain, for at least most of us or many of us, sort of functions better when we have limits set on us artistically.
I think so, and especially as women, we always find that there's something else we need to do, and we don't always make ourselves a priority. I had a set of work that I started last year and a little bit the year before when my children finished, and I said to them, I have 3 boys, fabulous, fabulous boys, but I said to them, I want to check out of being a housewife and mum. I want to start being an artist and business owner. And the reaction I got was not what I expected. And I read an article in the Guardian, a newspaper, and it was by Bridget Salty, and it was called, you know, it was about women needing time, and if what women need if women need time to create, then we will never create because we never put ourselves first. There's always something to do. So I did an art series where the first one was actually I put her words in the piece, and it was just her black, so it was like black and white text. And that really resonated with me. And then I did a couple of conversations that I had with my boys, and hilarity ensued. And some women were quite horrified, and other people just laughed their heads off because they were real conversations that they'd had with their children as well about being able to prioritise their art. You know, one of the conversations was, well, why is my art any less important than your sports training? And of course it isn't. So yeah, so that was really good. And I think having a deadline, getting back to that point, is really good for us because we know we have to get something done by a certain time. So that gives us permission to play. So
Absolutely. Yeah. And the other really effective component, which you've really tapped into, is community. So we have these boundaries and limits that we talked about. And then we have, and obviously what you were saying around sort of the socialization of women and motherhood, which is a whole nother piece here. But then there's also community and the ability to sort of see what other people are doing, get motivated by what, or inspired by what they're doing, want to share what you're doing, getting feedback, immediate feedback, which we can online. So creating that sense of community and belonging is another really important component.
It is. And I found that with Workshop in a Box, look, I didn't have, I don't have 100,000 followers on my business page and all that sort of thing. But what I have and what I got was just amazing. I had a couple of women who responded to me when I said, oh, we'll be finishing it up for 2022. They just let me know how much it actually meant to them. And especially during COVID, they felt very isolated. They felt very, I don't want to say depressed, but they felt very uncreative. And they felt really that they couldn't be motivated or anything at all. So what they've gotten out of it by me pushing something new every month, and we would have a Zoom where we would all say, come on, hold up your work, show and tell, that they felt that they really belonged and they got creative again. And it pulled some of them out of a hole, and that's worth so much.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I've thought about in addition, so you've really got like community, you've got these sort of creative prompts, and I feel like those are two such strong things. You've got the supplies and materials and the boxes and that you're selling online in order to obviously create what you need to create. One other thing I found, and I don't know if you consider this for 2023, that can be really powerful, is access. And I don't know whether that's something that appeals to you or not, but I feel like being able to hear from somebody who you wouldn't normally be able to hear from because you're just one person and you can't just call them up on the phone or whatever because they're, maybe somebody who's really achieved a lot in their particular field. But because you're a group and can have, either a Zoom or a live Q&A or whatever it might be, you can bring that person because you've got all of these people, and then everyone gets to benefit from that access. So I don't know if that's something that you've thought about, but I feel like for me, in my experience, that's one more level that people just really value a lot.
Yeah, and I'm still finessing the details. There's nothing on it on my website yet. But yeah, it is important, that connection, and the feedback online and the supportive feedback is really, really vital. More than just sort of empty Instagram feeds,
yes,
the Zooms and the feedback and an email. I mean, I have some people in the group who still aren't really social media savvy, and that's okay. They might send me an email and they'll show me their work. And then I'm like, well, put it in the group,
right.
Come on. Other people will love to see it. And so, yeah, I am quite accessible to the people, especially because the Workshop in a Box is such a small group. But we're going to continue the Zooms. Yeah.
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 And
So,
I love that you haven't been afraid to sort of, as we talked about right at the outset, pivot and change as time has gone by. So, you started in one way on Etsy, and if you had kept doing just that, imagine all the things that you would have missed. But you allowed yourself to say, well, maybe I can bring in these other folks who maybe aren't online, bring their patterns in. And now maybe I can do, a community, and now I can do a subscription box, or I can do all of these different things and not be, probably there were some people who were like, well, I'm not interested in that or something. You get a little bit afraid of losing the existing audience and favor, but what you save in that process is your motivation and your creative freedom, and also you gain all sorts of new audiences that way.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. One of the things that textile art is really good for, and even in my own art practice, I really admire those people who can do one thing in one style and do that infinitum, but I can't, and that's why I love textile art, because one day I'm painting. So here's one. I love fish patterns. So this is a bit of fabric and a bit of paint with Posca pen. So that's a blue box fish. And then this one is Weather Map, which is a new series I'm doing. That was the hottest day in Australia.
Is that painted as well?
No, that's just all fabric. So that's what I mean, that textile art can be anything. The one behind me, that's just ink. That's a whole cloth painted. It's 10 different fish patterns. So that's why I love textile art, because anything goes. I could be putting foil on. I could be burning it back. I could be doing all sorts of things, stamping, and I love it because that's how I work. And I think that's what I've brought to my business, is this constantly changing, because I'm out there with people who just want to learn all the time, and there is so much to learn with textile art. So I love trying to empower people and create a positive community. So and with the art supplies, while I was doing my boxes, it was really hard to find the stock for them. I was pulling it from here and buying it from there, and from overseas. So I've decided that I will also become art quilt supplies and stock products that I know, love and trust. I'll have some normal fabric as well, like Chula Pink and Tim Holtz. Tim Holtz's fabric is absolutely beautiful for art quilters. Jennifer Sampu's ombres are just delicious for us as artists. And so I'm going to try and bring a lot of things like that into one place. And they will also be things that if somebody says, what is Solvay, I can tell you what Solvay is. So and how you could use it in your art practice. I'm very happy to tell people about the product. So yeah, we're going through a new change now. So into 2023, we'll be up and running, and I'm even looking at doing the Orifil Extinction Challenge, which is a box of threads, and you would have had that in 2021, but we in Australia didn't have it. And there's a new set of patterns, even that as a colour challenge, to get that done every month. I definitely need deadlines, and I think there are other people out there that need that too, creative deadlines, a purpose to create.
Yeah, this is fabulous. So Brenda, tell us where people can go to learn more about you, about all that you have going on, where the links are for these things, so that everyone who's listening can follow up.
All right. So we are Sew Textiles. That's the number 2, because there were 2 of us to start in the Etsy shop. So Sew Textiles and Art Quilt Supplies.
Wonderful.
And
that's great.
Yeah.
Well,
and I have my own little art page as well, which is Addicted to Fabric. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good name.
Yeah.
Addicted to fabric. That's great. So, Brenda, it's great to talk to you to learn more about your business journey. Thank you for being a Craft Industry Alliance member. And, we do have people sometimes email me, they say, do you have members outside of the US? And I say, yes, we do. We have members in Canada, in Germany, in the UK, and in some other places as well, and definitely a strong contingent in Australia and New Zealand. And so we're very happy that you are a member and representing Australia for us.
Yes, thank you for having me. And yes, Craft Industry Alliance is excellent. I don't always get to the round tables because they're usually, 3 a.m. or something. But it's a great resource for crafty business owners. Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, we appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you to everybody who came to join us today for our member spotlight. And we will see you next week. Take care. Thanks, Brenda.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.